Hey, welcome. Look, generative AI is absolutely changing everything. But the biggest question everyone has is, how do we go from this cool, exciting idea to something that actually brings value to a business? So today, we're going to unpack the AWS blueprint for making generative AI not just powerful, but practical, secure, and totally ready for your business. Okay, let's jump right in.
So here's the real challenge, right? You know AI is a game changer, but how do you actually bridge that gap? Maybe you're a retailer who wants a chatbot that actually helps people, or you're a finance company that wants to summarize market reports in like seconds. Turning that cool idea into a secure, scalable app that really solves a problem? Yeah, that's the tough part. And AWS has basically built a solution around that exact question.
So the first part of this blueprint is all about the tools and materials. It's about giving you everything you need to build faster and smarter, without having to reinvent the wheel every single time. Let's take a look at the key services that make this happen.
First up, you've got Amazon SageMaker JumpStart. Honestly, just think of this as your project launchpad. Let's go back to that retail chatbot idea. Instead of trying to build some super complex language model from scratch on day one, you can use JumpStart to just grab a powerful, pre-trained model and get a working prototype up and running in a fraction of the time.
And what's really important here is the key benefit, accessibility. You don't need a huge team of PhDs in AI just to get started anymore. With JumpStart, a developer on your e-commerce team can get that first chatbot project off the ground. It just dramatically lowers the barrier to entry and speeds up that critical first step.
Okay, so you're off to a good start. What's next? Well, this is where Amazon Bedrock comes in. If JumpStart gets you started, Bedrock is what lets you tap into some serious world-class power. It gives you simple API access to a whole bunch of cutting-edge foundation models from the top AI companies out there.
And this right here is the main takeaway, pure efficiency. For that retailer we were talking about, building a model of this quality from the ground up, we're talking years and millions of dollars. With Bedrock, they can just access that power whenever they need it. You basically get to stand on the shoulders of giants, which saves an incredible amount of time and money.
Of course, none of this really matters if it's not affordable. The old way of doing AI often meant buying a bunch of expensive servers that were just sitting around doing nothing half the time. With AWS, with things like serverless inference, you only pay for the compute time you actually use to run your model, down to the millisecond, and you can scale up or down whenever you want. It's just a huge financial advantage.
So, our chatbot has the power. But how do we make it smart about our specific business? Well, this is where the magic of Amazon Q comes in. You can securely connect it to your own company's internal data. For our retailer, that's the product catalog, the inventory levels, customer FAQs, all that good stuff. It basically becomes your own AI-powered business analyst. So, the crucial point here is speed to market. All of a sudden, that chatbot isn't just generic anymore. It can answer real questions like, hey, is this jacket in stock in a medium? Or what's your return policy? Because Amazon Q gave it all that business context. This just drastically cuts down development time and gets a genuinely useful tool into your customers' hands so much faster. Okay, so we've seen how to build fast and smart. But our chatbot needs to access customer order history. And that opens up a whole new set of questions around trust, right? This is why the second part of the blueprint is the foundation, making sure everything you build is secure, safe, and compliant right from day one. Let's start with the basics. When a customer asks our chatbot, hey, where's my order? That question, which has their personal info, gets encrypted as it moves across the AWS network to the model and back. This protects your valuable data from being intercepted while it's on the move. Simple as that.
And that protection doesn't just stop when the data stops moving. All that business data we connected, the product catalogs, the customer order history stored in Amazon S3, that's all encrypted at rest too. So you're getting a complete end-to-end layer of security for your most important information.
Now, let's talk about safety. A huge concern with AI is that models can sometimes be a black box, or they might learn some unintended biases. As you can see here, tools like SageMaker Clarify help you spot model bias and make things more transparent. For our retailer, this means making sure the chatbot recommends products fairly to all customers, which leads to better, more trustworthy outcomes. And finally, for a lot of businesses, compliance isn't just a nice-to-have. If our retailer decided to start offering, say, pharmacy services, they'd be handling sensitive health data. The AWS infrastructure is designed to be compliant with major standards like HIPAA, which means you can build with confidence, knowing you're meeting those really strict regulatory requirements.
So, let's bring it all together. The AWS advantage isn't just about one tool or one feature. It's about providing a complete AI blueprint that brings together powerful, easy-to-use tools with a secure and trusted foundation, letting you innovate with total confidence.
This is your path, simplified. For our retail chatbot, the journey was super clear. 1. Access a pre-trained model. 2. Build it efficiently by connecting it to business data. 3. Deploy it on secure infrastructure to protect customers. And 4. Make sure the outcomes are fair and compliant. That is the blueprint for business-ready AI in action.
So all the pieces are right here. The tools for innovating fast are at your fingertips, and the foundation for building with trust is rock solid. Whether it's a new chatbot, a smarter recommendation engine, or a totally new way to get insights from your data, the only question left is, what are you going to build first?